it's so lovely to share it. When the film and the other actors and the writer, I wish Garth, but he was nominated for a DGA, so that's a huge thing for him. But just to share it with everybody, that's glorious. I've had it where I've been in films where I haven't been nominated. I've had it where I've been in films where I've been the only one nominated. So to have it where you share it, it's really beautiful. And for a film like this that we all just love and that we love people's response to because it's deeply emotional, that it's so not work going out and promoting this movie. I got my invitation and all of I was reading and I'm like, wow, this still means so much to me. More as I get older, it means more, which is probably just, it gets sweeter with age. So thanks everyone.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be part of it, and it's been amazing seeing all the recognition that La La Land has gotten. Damien Chazelle came up with this idea, 6 years ago, and worked really hard to get it on the screen and get it to the people. And I'm happy that it's getting the recognition that it deserves, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Tell me about the
Well, producers have a lot to do with films getting made. So, a lot of times a writer or a director will have a vision, but it takes producers to help get it done, help get it to the people. And so, I'm happy to do what I can to help great art get out there. And, as storytellers, we have a responsibility to tell interesting stories, entertaining stories, also stories that show different people's humanity. And I think in this time where we're seeing a President Trump who's preached a message of hate and fear and division and exclusion, we as content creators and content producers have the power to tell different stories that humanize people all over the world, humanize those who are marginalized, humanize refugees and immigrants. This nation is a nation of immigrants, and I believe in what the Statue of Liberty says about bringing people from all over the world here, people who may have experienced a lot of difficulty, people who are fleeing war and oppression, and America should continue to have our arms open to them. And I think producers have the responsibility to help stories about that get told as well. Well, film is much different, I think, because there's a lot more moving parts. I think with music, it can be a little more of a singular vision as an artist and as a songwriter. But with film, there's just so many moving pieces. It makes it harder to actually execute, and it's more expensive, of course, too. It's a really difficult business, and making a great film is really difficult to do. And when it's done right, it's really beautiful. But there's a lot that goes into it.
Oh man, they are such a vital ingredient to getting a film off the ground. Filmmaking is like conducting an orchestra, and to get all those different kind of talents together, you need a great producer to sew all those those pieces together. So I'm really here. I'm really thankful to Ian and Emil and Harvey. They're the reason I'm here. So to honor them is great.
Tell me about
A great producer is really hands-on and loves the material, which you could sit down with any one of our producers and have a 2-hour-long chat about the film and the dynamics of each character. They weren't just throwing finances or facilitating somewhere above our head. And, then there's also the element of giving you breathing space. And both of those together, of having a real unique relationship with the material, but allowing the kind of the tree to grow and let it breathe, that's a really good pair if you're a great producer.
Well, it's exciting. To me, this is the most elegant and refined of the awards shows. The people that they're sort of singling out usually deserve those very accolades. And so for that very reason, I'm sort of chewing gum. And the only reason I was invited was that Ryan Reynolds had to drop out. And so I was the only person. Yeah, they asked everyone else in the cast. But I got to wear my sparkly tie and my Deadpool shirt. And so I feel very good about being here for a number of reasons, just an immense amount of reasons.
I am actually talking about my film Hacksaw Ridge, so I'm very excited to be here. I have been thrilled about our inclusion in this year's awards season, so it's been fantastic. Amazing, because if it wasn't for Bill Mechanic in particular, this movie never would have been made. And this has been, I think, a 12-year journey for him. And to see him so moved and excited to give this story to the world, it's been such a blessing.
Well, that's the best honor you can get, right? There are no movies without producers. And so I would have no career without the producers that I've been lucky enough to work with over the years. So I'm deeply honored, and I'm very thrilled, except for one thing. Well, it means I'm very old, but that's okay. But that happens.
We're living in a divisive time. There's no question about it. And this film really does bring people together. And I think we're so proud of it. And we hope that it will live a long time and will create the kind of empathy that our world needs today.
Well, you know, it was conceived without any cynicism, really in a pure way from Damien's passion and sort of encyclopedic knowledge of musicals as well as movies in general. And we just tried to put all of ourselves into it as much as possible, which is to say we were like three young, broke dudes who just wanted to be artists. And we never imagined it would even like connect or get a wide release, let alone strike such a chord. And I think because it's so reflexive of our journey and the struggle to make a movie, let alone a challenging movie, I think a lot of people see themselves in it and feel less alone, which is what we try to do with it, is say like, it's hard and it's a struggle. And if you can make, you know, beautiful dance numbers around that, I think people get a full meal of a movie.
You know, it's really it's a story for anyone who's had a dream. It's for dreams and dreamers and the sacrifices and struggles one goes through in pursuit of one's dreams and how you balance dreams and life. And it's made with a lot of joy and passion, and hopefully that comes through in the film. And I think that's why audiences around the world have embraced it so much. It wasn't a big budget movie. Musicals are very challenging because the tone of the film has to be very consistent. Long rehearsal time to teach our actors to sing and dance and play the piano. The style of the film is very long takes without editing, sort of very old school kind of a way. So to shoot long takes on a short schedule was challenging, and much of the film was shot at magic hour when the sun was setting, all natural light. So the window of time was very short. But it was a great joy to make from beginning to end, notwithstanding all the challenges. It was a lot of hard work and challenge, all in the name of joy.
Yeah, so I'm nominated for Best Drama Series in Stranger Things and Best Picture with Arrival. So that these two things have come out and found an audience to this extent in the same year is thrilling and completely unexpected, but I'm definitely trying to savor it.
And you're here for protecting.
Yeah, I mean, look, I obviously my day job is directing films. I know how much I rely on my producers, and I just aspire, I've always aspired to be the kind of producer that I would want as a filmmaker, which is to say one that supports, one that empowers, and one that respects the creative vision of the filmmaker. And that's how we try to do it at 21 Laps, which is my company. And whether it's Stranger Things or Arrival or anything else we're working on, I try to kind of produce by that credo. Yeah.
I mean, producers are everything. I mean, especially if you've had a bad producer before, you really know what it means to have a really great producer. And so, and you know, when you're doing a show like this, I mean, you know, when we were doing it, it was very unusual, and we were very inexperienced, and our producers really fought hard to protect us, and we were able to do everything that we wanted to do creatively. It was like the dream scenario. So I'm so glad that they all got recognized. Yeah.
What's the part of Hidden Figures I'm most proud of?
that it stars 3 African American women in the lead, and as of Sunday it will cross $100 million. Anybody that has ever listened to me talk at PGA Produced By Conference, I say it all the time, diversity pays, and I just proved it.
Well, what I'm so excited about this year, besides our film being nominated, is it's a diverse group of films, you know, from very intimate films to musicals, just all kinds of different ones, more so this year than I think any year. So that's what I'm most excited about. Oh, I've seen all the films. I wouldn't have voted if I didn't. So I think the competition's fierce. I think Fences is the best one, but I think the competition's hard. I mean, there's great performances, great directing, great storytelling. You know, and they're all so different. So it's a very personal year for, I think, audiences. So I think the competition's tough this year. Yeah.
Gosh, the biggest highlight is just the reaction from fans. You know, the people are actually seeing this movie, embracing it. It's done a ton of business domestically. It's going to do a ton of business overseas. Just like, you know, stepping back and seeing the audience are discovering a real textured drama is rewarding. You know, for the first cut of the movie that I saw, I called the filmmaker Kenny and just said, this is like the most ordinary, most authentic depiction of love and loss since Ordinary People. And seeing a movie like that get traction in 2016 and 17 is really, it's big. Yeah.
The main obstacle we really had to overcome was finding a home for our series. And, you know, when we first brought it to Netflix and they said they wanted to take it on, that was really a turning point, because we would not be here tonight had it not been for Netflix, had it not been for Lisa Nishimura, Adam Del Deo, and everyone over there. So that was the major obstacle.
Well, I mean, the great news for us at this show is that we're not producing the show, so we get to attend. And we have 2 great producers, Donald DeLine and Amy Pascal. And I think this year's special because the diversity of films is quite extraordinary.
Right. And, you know, we've been doing it now for 3 years. So the first 2 years we were more nervous. I mean, in some odd way, I think we're a little more comfortable. We're more comfortable being presidents of the guild. We have a better sense of who we are in our own skin, and I think we've gotten better at it a little bit. I'd like to hope. I hope so. You know. I think we're at an interesting point where the personal connection that a filmmaker has to the story has really risen. And, you know, I think there's so many sequels and genre films, but, you know, look at it this way too. In Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds' personal connection to the character of Wade Wilson was so strong that it actually elevated the movie and it made the movie better. You know, so whether it's a personal connection in that, or in Moonlight, or in Lion, or in Manchester, and in La La Land, Damien Chazelle, you know, they all had a personal connection and made things better.
I think we have an incredible group of movies that we can all be very proud got made and that people are seeing in the theaters. I think that's what we should be most proud of.
A lot of authentic storytelling. Oh yeah, between Moonlight and Manchester and Hacksaw and Hidden Figures, I mean, all of them, you can go down the list. A lot of personal, very, very real, emotional human stories.
For now, more than ever, we have the need, the obligation to create content that expresses our true values.
And the David L. Wolper Award for Outstanding Producer of Long-Form Television goes to The People versus O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story.
I want to tell a story tonight that I've actually never told publicly before. But no story for me actually illustrates more accurately the type of man and the type of friend that Tom is. Almost 18 years ago, hard to believe, 4 weeks into shooting X-Men 1, I was kind of struggling, to be honest. It was my first movie I'd ever done in America. I was pretty tight, I was nervous, I was average, to be honest, at best. No one was saying anything. I kind of thought I was getting away with it, but I wasn't. And then Tom Rothman, who was the head of production, the big cheese, came on set and he said, "Hey man, let's grab lunch." I was like, cool, let's go. So we went to catering, and after lunch, big budget movie, I was in my mutant outfit, put the claws down, we're eating, everyone finishes, going back to the set. He said, "Just stay here for a second." And he had a proper chat with me. He told me that he believed in me, that from the moment he had seen my tape, he had a gut feeling that I was the guy, but that watching my dailies was like watching someone put a lampshade over a light. That I was holding back. He said, "Man, you got to follow your gut. You got to be bold." It was pretty hard to hear, I'll be honest. I kind of wish I hadn't eaten that much for lunch at that point. I figured this is the talk you get from a studio executive like the week, maybe 10 days before you get fired. I was kind of a little freaking out. And as we stood up, I was going back on the set. I'll never forget this. He put his hand on my shoulder. He looked me in the eye and he said, "I've got your back. Just go and have fun."
Let's fight for originality. Too much homogeneity will speed up, not stall off the decline of our beloved art form. This year at Sony, we will have films from some of the most individualistic voices working today: Edgar Wright, Denis Villeneuve, John Waits, Danny Boyle, Fede Alvarez, and others. I can only hope that some might measure up to the great movies nominated tonight, but I assure you I will stand up for them either way. And that leads me straight to Nora and Elizabeth. Girls, I saved you for last, because as any good producer will tell you, it's the ending that really moves the scores. I am so proud of you. Pretty much any words of wisdom I might have left for you, though, are better said by one character or another on that reel. If you put yourselves on the line in life, like you did tonight, brickbats will surely come your way. So gird your loins and stand tall on the quarterdeck, because it is your name and you will never have another in your life. Although I don't know if those erstwhile boyfriends have something to say about it, maybe, but the basic point's the same. Integrity is what counts. You just tell him John Proctor said, "Leave me my name." And if all that fails, my darlings, you can always scream for ice cream. That's what I did in life, and it worked out pretty well for me. So, thank you again. Thank you. Thank you to the PGA, and thank you all.
Arrival's an extraordinary movie, rich in emotional depth. It's about communication on every level, and it stars a female protagonist who is strong, intelligent, in control, a mother, a teacher, and the story's hero.
I do want to say that it is important the producers that are in this room, that are taking risks, that are making things that inspire the younger generation, but also don't necessarily have to be like The Arrival, which is an A picture. It can be like Deadpool, a D picture, but a different thing, something else, a new thing. It was Jeremy Kramer, Emma Watts, Simon Kinberg, and Ryan Reynolds who decided to take the risk to make an R-rated superhero comic book genre film about a superhero that none of us even knew or cared about, but soon found is the most beloved anti-hero in the history of modern cinema.
And now, nonfiction with a wrinkle, the little thing we call competition. The tension, the bickering, the ritual pointing of the finger with blame, the colossal screw-ups, the wipeouts, the triumphs, you know it, you love it, the rosé. the roses and the rosé and the roses and the rosé, and my wife, and she loves it, and I want to pull my hair out. You can't get enough of it, is what I'm saying.
The Producers Guild gives an award every year to a movie that most expresses the ethic that fueled Stanley Kramer's work. And what better example do we have this anniversary year than Loving?
I think Stanley Kramer has challenged us, really, to use what we do as an instrument for empathy, to challenge our preconceptions and to find commonality. I would echo the words we heard at the beginning of this evening, that now more than ever, it is absolutely vital that we look for stories that do that and find people like Jeff Nichols, Joel Edgerton, and Ruth Negga, who can take the very quiet voices of people like Richard and Mildred Loving and make them heard again, even after 50 years have passed. So I thank the PGA, to Kat and Karen Kramer, and this is for Richard and Mildred Loving, for the ACLU, for everyone. Everyone who is fighting for their civil rights, and everyone whose families are being separated by the discrimination of others. Thank you.
And the Danny Thomas Award for Outstanding Producer of Episodic Television Comedy goes to the brilliant Atlanta.
I do this because it's the best way I know how to affect change. Annapurna is a company founded on otherness, a voice coming out of the dark, inspired by the artists who spoke to me when I felt most alone. We aspire to be a safe environment for artists and dreamers, so that the voices that need to be heard are there for everyone and anyone who needs them. I'm in awe when I look around this room. There's so much power within these walls, the ability to affect real change. The scariest thing we could do now or ever is shut up. We may not be curing cancer, as I often hear, but we do have the power of voice, visibility, and communication to a global audience. We are extremely privileged and therefore have an opportunity as well as a responsibility. Few, if any, in this room may be affected in our black ties and tuxedos, for example, by a ban on Muslim refugees. But we are some of the ones who have the power to share stories of meaning. And we need to share that power with those who will be most silenced and vulnerable. A lot of people in this room control the gold, so let's make new rules.
Our movie has bank robberies, brotherly love, many, many clouds of dust, a pair of incredibly handsome Texas Rangers, and the most intimidating waitress in movie history. Critics called it a neo-Western crime heist thriller, which roughly translates into a universally American film.
In 1962, 3 African-American women were at the center of one of the greatest string of successes in American history.
That was the Supremes. Our movie is not about them.
Yes, our movie is about some other amazing women, also colored women, as they used to call us back then, who were crucial to the ultimate triumph of the American space program. That means that without the brilliant minds of Katherine Johnson, Dorothy Vaughan, Mary Jackson, and the rest of the colored and human computers at NASA, America would have not made it to space.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Many of you may know me as my character on my television show, Key and Peele, Luther, Obama's anger translator. So, you know I am a big fan of political humor, but I am also, if you did not know, I am also an improviser. So tonight I thought that I would just, maybe come up here and just open Trump's Twitter page and then just, maybe just come up with some jokes on the fly. Okay, so here's his most recent tweet. He says, scientists, let's see, scientists, blah, 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 gag order. All right, okay, I got it. How many scientists does it take to tell the president, oh, wait, hold on, here comes another one. Another one just came in. Okay, America first. Hold on, wait, nope, okay, 3 more just came in. Okay, wait, okay, this one's about Iran. All right, hold on. Okay, Iran, okay, I got it, okay. Donald Trump, the Ayatollah, and Clint Eastwood walk into a bar. Oh, hang on, 17 more just came in, okay. Let's see here, I don't have tiny hands, I just have a big head. Angela Merkel is a 4, okay, that's just mean, No, you're a tangerine. Okay, sorry. Okay, no, wait, here we go. Rick Perry is going to run the EPA. So, okay, now what am I supposed to do with that? That's already a joke. Gosh, this is very difficult. Okay. Oh God, my phone's hot. Like 30 more just came in right there.
Let me start with Mary. I promise you that as a woman, she was everything you hoped or sensed she was. She had dignity, wit, off-the-chart work ethics, legs. She was intrinsically valiant. She was the woman at the center of our work who never complained, as in never, who shoved credit at all the rest of us, who made grace contagious. I want to give you all the opportunity to pay her tribute, so let's have a hand for Mary.
I won't pretend that La La Land is a political film, but I do want to take a second to talk about what's happening in our country right now. This is a film about love, about dreams, and about this lovely city we call home, Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles is the home of so many immigrants, so many creative people, so many dreamers, and those of us who work in this business have the privilege of shaping how the world perceives this country we love. We are the voice, we are the face of America. Our America is big, it is free, and it is open to dreamers of all races, all countries, all religions. Our vision of America is directly antithetical to that of President Trump. And I want to specifically tonight reject his vision and affirm that America has to be better than that. My wife and I were a little bit conflicted about being here tonight. When we know what's happening in the streets, we know what's happening at LAX and the airports around the country. But we came here tonight, but we also wanted to put our money where our mouth is, and we made a donation to the ACLU and to other organizations who are committed to fighting for freedom in the land of the free. There's a lot of money and power in this room, and I hope you all will use it for something good. Let's all continue to stand up together for what is right.
A journey of self-discovery, identity, and a longing for home are the profound themes in Lion. Director Garth Davis and writer Luke Davies take us on the emotional journey of Saru Briley's harrowing true story to reunite with a family he lost for 25 years.
And the Producers Guild Award for Outstanding Producer of Animated Theatrical Motion Pictures goes to Zootopia.
The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight came early in my film career, and it meant a lot to me to be cast by a big-time producer. But Irwin was always warm and generous, an easy guy to be around. He seemed always to be on your side. It felt more like being with your favorite uncle, one who would indulge you whatever you asked. Quick story. In The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight, I played Mario from Calabria, Italy. I wanted to prepare by going to Italy for a couple of weeks for research and to spend time with the people. I'll never forget what he said when I asked him about it. He said, no.
Irwin is one of the handful of pioneers, I mean, mid-century Hollywood pioneers who crossed from the bridge from the old studio system to the Hollywood of today. So if you look at the old system from the 30s to the early 60s, Irwin took it from the 60s and 90s, and then from the 90s to now. I mean, he made movies in every genre, working with directors like John Boorman and Sidney Pollack, John Alvidson, Costa Gavras. He made avant-garde films, very daring films, classic films, blockbuster films, and then just films. Now, when I say just films, I mean the absolute best of mainstream Hollywood.
Thank you, first of all, to the Producers Guild for this lovely award. I remember some almost 25 years ago, Horkoch, myself, and a group of producers met in Dick Zanig's house and talked about starting a Producers Guild, and here we are. It's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to really recognize what the Guild has done for the producers.
When I saw the script that they had written for me to introduce this clip, it didn't really seem consistent with the impressive talents of all those hardworking people. So I emailed Matt Damon and Kenneth Lonergan asking them if they had any suggestions for what I could say instead. Kenny's response was, "Oh, please, just apologize for your appearance." Matt responded with, "It doesn't matter, nobody will remember any of this anyway."
It's a story about finding yourself, finding your community, and your family.
And friendship and love.
In these times, we need filmmakers to continue to shine a light on the truth. So much of the public's interest in climate change, in gun control, and animal abuse was kindled by documentaries.
Documentaries help us to understand each other and the world we live in. This year's films allow us to experience a child's struggle to communicate with the world, an artist's passion, a daughter's desire to do something only ever done by a son.
And the Norman Felton Award for Outstanding Producer of Episodic Television Drama goes to
Stranger Things.
And the Darrell F. Zanuck Award for Outstanding Producer of Theatrical Motion Pictures goes to La La Land.
On behalf of Fred Berger and Jordan Horwitz, my colleagues, I want to thank the PGA. We love producing. We are very honored. We feel very fortunate to be members of this community and the global community of producers and filmmakers who have created such a broad range of powerful stories and magnificent filmmaking.